The netburst architecture was one of the worst design decisions ever made by Intel, leading to some of the most inefficient CPUs ever produced. For this reason, I've always wondered exactly how much performance I'd be able to squeeze out of a netburst system. So for this purpose, I've chosen to make use of a Titan Thunder Sierra 2676 motherboard fitted with two Irwindale netburst Xeon CPUs running at 3.8 GHz. In order to house this system, I chose to make use of the InWin 915, as it's one of few modern cases which can actually house a motherboard of these dimensions. Very early on into this build, I encountered a serious problem, as the CPU coolers fitted to these CPUs are made of solid copper and weigh a ton, and need to be chassis mounted. However, the InWin 915 has massive gaps in the CPU tray where the mounting points would need to be. So I put the build on hold for a week or so while I came up with a solution to the problem. I ended up purchasing a 4.5mm thick plate of stainless steel, which I had machined down to a thickness of 4mm in order to create a correct spacer between the chassis and the motherboard. I then had the plate drilled in the correct places as well as tapped correctly in order to mount the CPU coolers. This CPU bracket made of solid stainless steel enabled me to successfully mount the motherboard into the case. So let's fire her up and see how she runs. The heart of the system consists of a pair of Irwindale Xeons running at 3.8 GHz. The graphics are handled by an EVGA superclocked GTX Titan X. The system drive is managed by an Adaptec 2420 Sierra Alpha Serial ATA2 RAID card. The motherboard also features onboard SCSI, which I'm not going to be using in this system. And finally, the system sound is handled by a Creative X-Fi Extreme Gamer Fatality Pro sound card. In order to keep this little beast cool, I've fitted 9 Thermaltake Tough Fan Pros into this case. The system also features a gigabit Ethernet port, and I've fitted an external DVD writer in order to give the machine access to DVDs. So this is how the system currently stands. I'm going to get things started by firing up CPU-Z in order to show you the system's CPU, motherboard and RAM setup. The system CPUs are Intel Xeon Irwindales, which are 90nm chips. The core voltage is currently 1.2 volts, and the CPUs run at 3.8 GHz. They're currently clocking at 3790 MHz, so it's 10 MHz slow. The cache setup is the following. It's got 2 MB of secondary cache, 16 KB of level 1 cache, and 12 KB of trace cache. The motherboard was manufactured by the Titan Computer Corporation. It's the model Sierra 2676, featuring a PCI Express bus. The chipset is the following. The BIOS was manufactured by Phoenix Technologies Limited and dates back to the year 2006. The graphical interface is handled by a PCI Express 1 interface. The system's fitted with 8 GB of DDR2 memory, and it's running in a dual channel mode with the following timings. Next, I'm going to fire up GPU-Z to get the information on the GPU. The GPU is an NVIDIA GeForce GTX Titan X, manufactured in March of 2015, and it was manufactured by EVGA. It has the following clocks and the following boost clocks. It has 336.6 GB per second memory bandwidth, across a 384-bit bus, and it has 12 gigabytes of video memory. Now that all of that's covered, let's get on with the demonstrations. I'm going to start things off by demonstrating the machine's DirectX 11 performance by running the Heaven benchmark. I'm going to be using the following settings: the DirectX 11 API, running at ultra quality with normal tessellation and 4x anti-aliasing. For the purposes of proof of concept, I'm going to be running the complete Heaven benchmark, so if you don't feel like watching the whole thing, you can jump ahead as required. The reason why I'm doing this is to show you exactly how well this system runs or performs during each aspect of this benchmark. This is amazing performance if you consider that the heart of the system essentially consists of two Pentium 4 cores running at 3.8 GHz. As good as this result was, Heaven's still a synthetic benchmark, so let's see how good the system's real-world gaming performance is. The first game that I'm going to demonstrate is Fear, running in the absolute maximum settings at 1920 by 1080 with 4 times anti-aliasing.
Don't shoot. My name is Norton Mapes. I'm an engineer.
Shit, it's a civilian. Give him a comlink.
Hello? Who are you people?
The good guys. Are you alright?
Oh, sure. I'm having a hell of a time.
You said you're an engineer? Can you help me get into the network?
What am I, an IS lackey? Tell you what, you disable the local security system, and I'll see what I can do about the server.
I can disable it remotely once I'm logged in.
No, you can't. It's on a separate network. It's back that way.
Why do you want us to bring down the security system anyway?
Never mind why. You want my help, that's the price. I'll just wait here.
Again, that was pretty impressive performance, especially if you consider the fact that Fear came out a little bit after the system and was also an absolute pain in the ass to run back in the day. Next, I'm going to demonstrate Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl with maximum settings at 1920 by 1080 and 4x anti-aliasing.
Coming! They're coming!
Good job, guys. Take your positions. Everybody take your stand. Let them come close. They will be easier targets.
Кушай, скотина! Зацепил гада! Ты покойник! Хорошо приложил гада! Пацаны! Все, ты труп! Вот так! Будешь знать! Тебе крышка! Пацаны, выручайте! Дай ему прикурить, я войду! Твою... Пацаны, выручайте! Бореш, помоги! Бля, скажи спасибо, что пули не жалею. Ай, бля!
Great job, boys. We wiped them out. Everybody have some rest. And you, Stalker, come over here. Let's have a chat.
Another good result, especially if you consider how demanding it was to run Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl back in the day. And now we finally come to the big test of the day, and that is Crysis running pretty much at maximum settings at 1920 by 1080 with 4 times anti-aliasing.
Maximum gain.
I'm going to start off by showing you the graphics settings that I'm going to be using for this demonstration. It's running at 1920 by 1080 with 4 times anti-aliasing, and the advanced options are all pretty much set to very high.
The LZ is overrun. Psycho and I are moving to the signal location. Nomad, there's a checkpoint blocking the path up the valley, so deal with that first. Transmitting the coordinates now.
Maximum strength. Cloak engaged. Maximum speed. Cloak engaged. Critical. Cloak engaged. Maximum speed. Cloak engaged. Vertical.
Again, not too bad, especially if you consider how CPU bound Crysis is. This brings us to the end of today's demonstrations. This build isn't complete as yet, as I still intend to try and squeeze as much out of it as I possibly can. So early next year I intend to fit an RTX 3090 Ti to hopefully squeeze the absolute maximum out of the system. I hope you enjoyed the video and thanks very much for watching.